Hey, this is Alex with Grow How. Recently, the question has come up about root starter. Now, there are a lot of things that are sold as root starter. Some are just straight fertilizer, and this is obviously a fertilizer. I think a 6 right there on the nitrogen amount is really hot for starting, but this was found in my garage. I don't know if these folks sell this anymore. I don't know if the company's in business anymore. Western Garden Centers used to be a really big thing up in Salt Lake County. I believe they still have a location, but they're not what they used to be if they're still there. And specifically, I want to look at what's in this. If you look at it, it's got nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Okay, it's got some iron. The iron is probably not effective for our soils. That's okay. I don't buy it for that. It's got some chelated zinc that may or may not be effective. I've not personally had a zinc problem. I'm not worried about it. Then it's got, if I can get this tape out of the way because my label is coming off, it's got thiamine hydrochloride, vitamin B1. That sounds really impressive except for one thing. Studies have never been able to show that vitamin B helps anything. When it comes to vitamins, most plants are not getting them from the soil like they do minerals. They are getting them from producing them themselves. Even if it does help, which again there's no proof of, the plant is actually pretty capable of that one itself. Now the next one is indole 3-butyric acid. This is a plant hormone or synthetic hormone. I don't know how this particular one is derived. And this is going to shock you. This is a very close chemical to 2,4-D, or you might know it better as weed begone. A weed begone is a plant hormone analog. It does much the same thing this does if used in the proper amount, and that's the key, is in the proper amount. Just because I said this, don't go out and try doing this with your 2,4-D. If you're going to get a root stimulator, get this or the one that Fertilome provides, or I mean there's probably a dozen others, but make sure that they have an indole 3-butyric acid or butyric acid. I don't know how to pronounce that because hey, I'm not a chemist. And use it according to the label for what you're planting. A lot of them are giving 2 tablespoons, 1 fluid ounce per gallon. I know the stuff that I've been using at work, I don't use it very often, but I decided to give it a shot. It's got a little bit higher dose than this. It's also lower on the nitrogen, and I don't know how much of the indole 3-butyric acid there is, so follow the label. Each of these formulations is different. I'm going to try a tree with these, and honestly, since I've only got one tree, I'm not going to be able to evaluate how it does. But I'm also going to treat some plants I've had a little bit more problem with rooting in hopes that I will actually get some good roots on them this year, or an improvement at least. Yes, these can help you. I'm going to give you some caveats before I close out. If the tree has, or plant has, a healthy top with lots of leaves, it will produce enough energy to be worth having the roots stimulated. If the plant has a weak top, I would not use this. If it's not producing a lot of leaves, I would not use this. There are other problems that are more significant. A plant that is producing a lot of leaves is creating a lot of energy and can do a lot of work with that energy. If you don't have the leaves, you're going to send messages to the plant to grow roots instead of leaves, and it needs those leaves to have energy to support the roots. Only use this on plants with healthy tops according to the label instructions. And that's what you really need to know with a lot of these chemicals, is use the instructions, understand what they're talking about, and you'll have a much more satisfactory experience. Catch y'all later. Manana.